Welcome to the Key to All This with Tim and Dylan. I'm Dylan. What's up, Tim?
Happy 50th. We
Happy
did
50th.
it.
And also with you. May the 50th be
Revenge of
with
the
you.
50th.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it only
It's been
took
a
us
pleasure.
15 years to get here.
you know, I've aged so much that when people say my name, I say Tim. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I'm Timbo now. Same
Timbo.
last name.
I'm
Ugh.
a desert
I
wizard.
Timbo McGovern. I wonder if they mean Tim McGovern. Probably.
He's nothing but a wizard. That's what
I
I
love it.
want people to think about me in my old age, which is now apparently. So
Yeah. Hey, rest in peace, Tim. Daddy loves you. So
thank you.
we're at number 50. We've done this show. This is what, our third year doing it, and we try to do every Monday. We've missed a lot, and we missed like 10 months in a row at one point. But that was also me moving into a house and whatever. So let's get over it, okay? So it's our
I'm
our
not over it. If that's your plea to get me to get over it, not gonna happen.
let's. I'm trying to see if I have anything. Oh, today's topic is one of my most favorite things about Star Wars, and I actually wanted to save this for the 50th episode because of that. So when I was getting into Star Wars, we had the re-release special editions VHS, but also the release of Power of the Force action figures. With that, they had the full Shadows of the Empire line. They had the release of the video game. They had the book by Steve Perry. They had a comic book series. They had an album released. They did
I
everything.
know
And I
everything but the
caught
movie.
that.
They were like, "We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna just like let this exist in every other form," which I
Mm-hmm.
love.
Yeah. It was a good thing. It was the first time that Star Wars had really broken out of, hey, these are our movies. We're going to try to do something else. And also there was that lull between the release of Return of the Jedi and the impending Episode One, where the toys got stale. The original Power of the Force line was getting stale. They weren't selling anything, and they said, "Hey, let's do this big multimedia project called Shadows of the Empire," and it's I caught it right when I was getting into Star Wars. So everything from seeing Return of the Jedi, the first Star Wars movie I ever saw, I also caught Shadows of the Empire at the exact same time. So to me, Star Wars has been 4, 5, 6, and Shadows of the Empire. So I'm excited that this is our 50th episode because it means so much to me.
And also, just like it fills in a gap that like every fan wants. They want to know the lulls between 4 and 5.
I use that
Saw that
word.
in
You
the
can't use it.
comics. I can lull you to sleep. I can lull
Hold me, bro.
anything I want.
Bet you
Lull me
won't.
closer, time to dance. Oh,
Laugh.
I'll lull you.
Ooh, loud.
Let me lull you. Um, and I think that it gives fans like a new adventure, really bite-sized adventure too, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like you get like a Han replacement with Dash Rendar, who's just as cool, just as slick.
Better
And
pilot.
I love that he's like, I love that he's like a Hoth, like, kind of legend.
Yeah.
And I think it it fills in that gap in a fun way that's not too. It has its own twists and turns.
Yeah. Yeah. Dash Rendar. I want to do a full episode on Dash Rendar, but he ended up being like one of my favorite characters growing up. And I thought he was cooler than Han because he had more confidence without necessarily being cocky because he could prove it. Oh, there you go. You're all bright now, Tim. You said he didn't have any light. Um,
My random window just opened up on
poked.
my
It
computer.
poked.
Hoped. Hello, Pope Francis.
Oh. So I do want to do a Dash Rendar episode, but he was very cool, and I thought he was so much cooler than Han because he backed up everything to the point where like Han would have hated him. Like Han would have been jealous of Dash Rendar if they were together at the same time. So Shadows of the Empire follows the story between episode 5 and 6, where people are trying to get Han Solo back from Carbonite before he reaches Jabba the Hutt. And there's this incredible power dynamic with Prince Shizor trying to like undermine Darth Vader and make him look so goofy for the Emperor and constantly like throw him under the bus and be like, "Hey, pal, did you see what he did?" And at the same time, he's just trying to have sex with Princess Leia. So he's like,
Yeah.
those are his two things. He doesn't care. He's the richest person you've ever seen in Star Wars. He has a full castle, fortress, whatever. He does not need anything. He's the leader of the Black Sun, needs nothing. But he wants to screw with Darth Vader, doesn't actually want to work with Palpatine, and then he just wants to bang Leia. Those are his two things.
And I love that he wants to bang Leia also as a ploy to like get at Luke too.
Yeah.
Like, he's just such a piece of he's just an awful person.
Yeah.
But that's what makes him very captivating because he is he just seems like the type of person who's like he gets bored very easily and he just wants to set a new goal for himself that
Yeah.
also screws with everyone around him.
He's the Barnaby Stinson of Star Wars.
Yes,
Like
exactly. Yes.
the Falleen or Phaline, I think it's Falleen, whatever the species is. Like
Mhm.
they produce pheromones that make people horny. Like that is in a Star Wars book. And Leia almost does it. She's like very interested, but also like trying to fight it. But then her love for Han stops her, and that's admirable. But also, it's so funny.
Is it
Yeah.
Admiral Akbar? Sorry.
Wow, that was a trap. Remember when the Gonk droid did the Holdo maneuver?
Gonk.
Instead of Admiral Akbar. But so Shadows of the Empire it's really interesting. It feels like Star Wars. That's one of the things that I
Yeah.
really love about it is reading through the book, going through the comic books, playing through the game. I mean, everything feels Star Wars. The outfits, the dialogue, the way that Luke talks, and Luke is such an interesting character because he is like a little bit whiny, but also a little bit like brave. So he's got a voice, and like to match that in the comic books and the book is something you don't see very often in stuff produced now. In the last episode, we talked about Han Solo surviving and the Last Jedi, and even Mark Hamill agrees that Luke Skywalker was not Luke Skywalker in the Last Jedi, but he was in Shadows of the Empire. So
They did
I
a great
respect
job
it.
of
I
yeah.
respect it.
Also, we get to see Coruscant too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the time that would have been the first time we've ever encountered Coruscant. Uh, except for, well, I guess the special editions hadn't come out yet, where for Return of the Jedi they would have
Oh, for the
added
ending scene.
Coruscant in. Yeah,
But
so I
was
think
that
that would
added
have
for
been
the
the first.
'97 special release, or was that added for the 2005 release?
I
Because they
can't
did
remember.
a whole
I
new
don't know.
remake in 2005.
Yeah,
That's when they added Anakin to Return of the Jedi
I
scene.
remember that. Yeah.
And I think that's when they added Episode 1 Celebration, or Naboo Celebration, and
Yes. So
Coruscant
I this
Celebration.
would have to have been the first time we've seen Coruscant,
Yeah, it's possible that it
which
might
is
have been
great to see.
mentioned, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I have this. When I look back at my childhood and I think of Star Wars, my whatever age I was in third grade, I rented a Nintendo 64 from the video game store and Shadows of the Empire. and I played through the Battle of Hoth the whole night. I think I ignored everyone at my birthday party, which was at my parents' house, which is a an odd place to ignore everybody. But I remember playing it so much, and ooh, I can still hear you, but I remember that like playing that game. I'm still listening. I have to grab something because I picked up another very cool thing that I don't know if I've shown you.
Sure, go for it.
Have you played the game? Have you beat it?
I have not played the game. I didn't have N64 growing up.
Okay, well, next time you're in town, we will play it. So this is a very cool purchase that I got. I got this thing for a
Heck yes.
dollar. To get the original
Wow.
packaging of a Nintendo game for a dollar is unheard of. It doesn't have the booklet or anything, but I have the game. I don't have the booklet. But to own this is very, very cool for me
We got
because
to
it's
play it
such a
next time
big
in
childhood
town. Yes.
memory. Yeah, I
I
have
just
it.
remember people playing it all the time and me watching. I watched the game
Yeah, you were a
and
cuck for the
like
Shadows of the Empire.
exactly. I was watching in the closet. I had the camera set up.
But they knew you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, take down that
I was
AT-AT.
just shuffling around and
Yeah.
yeah, it was very embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can see it here. Not in my thing, but I've got the 1997, 1996
Hmm.
AT-AT. One of the main reasons I wanted to really fill out my Power of the Force collection and buy that AT-AT is because of Shadows of the Empire. It's awesome. I mean, I had all the figures, of course. There's a action figure of Chewbacca with buzz cut and eye patch and stuff, and he's got all this gear. And this is a cool Easter egg. I don't know if you know this because I don't know how much of Shadows of the Empire you dug into, but the Bouche costume that Leia wears in Return of the Jedi, there was actually a bounty hunter called Bouche. It wasn't just a Bouche disguise.
No
It
way.
was a bounty hunter, and she and Chewbacca basically beat the hell out of this guy in an alley and stole his costume. And so she wore an actual bounty hunter named Bouche's outfit. So people thought it was this one character, not she was just wearing a style of outfit. And then Chewbacca pretended to be this Wookiee bounty hunter, and he was so upset that he had to shave the top of his head into a buzz cut. That was like the biggest conflict Chewbacca had in the entire book is he didn't want to cut his hair short to pretend to be this
Save
guy.
Han, shave head.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I get it.
and yeah. So yeah, Shadows of the Empire is incredible. Also, there's another thing too. I don't know if you knew about the character Guri, Guri. It might be Jury, Guri, probably Guri. But it was Prince Shizor, like basically had this robot, this hot blonde robot who people could not tell was a robot, like at his disposal, and it was very much alluded to that this was like his sex doll because they would say like she's not,
Okay.
she doesn't get jealous when he's got other girls around. Like pretty awesome. I love Star Wars.
He is paving the way for millions of creeps to come.
I find it,
Literally.
yeah, I find it really interesting that in the Clone Wars, the cartoon, we had the Black Sun, the whole
Mhm.
gang and or the syndicate, and we had the Fallian characters, but we never got Prince Shizor, which is very silly. Because he's like very smooth, and also Benedict Cumberbatch would be the perfect Prince Shizor because he's very like smooth and odd. Like he's a good
And
fit for that
Shoki.
character.
Yes. I definitely think that they haven't really touched too much between Empire and Return of the Jedi. I think it stands to reason that down the line we could get an adaptation of this
Yeah, it would be great.
and see this.
Yeah, Marvel has been touching on that in the comic books. Basically, how Boba Fett lost Han Solo, and then he had to. This is actually really interesting. In the comic book, so Boba Fett loses Han Solo. You know, canon comic books, not what Shadows of the Empire was, and he gets caught in a the arena, bounty hunter arena, essentially,
Hmm.
and spray paints his entire outfit to be completely black so he can pretend to be a different Mandalorian, and ends up killing all these people. And I'm almost certain he ends up with Christensen, having to fight Christensen, and that's
Black
one of the
Chrysanthemum,
ways
yeah.
that he's introduced into the comic books and into the show is through this hero arena, because Christensen was undefeated and total bad boy.
Yes.
We won't dive into that too
And that's
much
how he
because
got there.
our
Yes,
next
I know.
episode is going to be Christensen, unless something important in the news pops up. But yeah, that's all I have to add for or talk about with Shadows of the Empire, because I really want to talk about the ending of the book, but I would rather save it for our Dash Rendar episode, which is
Absolutely,
going
yes.
to be a big deal for me. But with that said, Tim, I'm good to go.
Yes. Well, may the force be with you, Dylan.
And also with you, Timbo.
Ah, shucks.
Wait, are you Tim McGovern, not Timbo McGovern?
I'm so sorry I've lied to you all these years.